Okay, here we go. It is my contention that the oil markets are clueless about where the actual oil supply is. So the price of the oil on the oil markets went down yesterday, Wednesday, August 26th. But that's despite the fact that only 3 ships transited the Strait of Hormuz in the last 24 hours. And even though it's before the Iran war, the average was 60. Or it's about, so it's at about 5% is the current level of the ships going through Hormuz. That's a huge amount of oil supply that's now gone from the markets. And also the strategic oil reserve of the U.S., that's down to 289.7 million barrels, or down 3.7 million barrels for the week ending August 21st. That just came out yesterday, also on August 26th. But the estimates is the minimum that the Strategic Oil Petroleum Reserve, the SPR, the minimum that can hold is before the walls of the caverns that hold the oil in the SPR are in danger of collapsing. That's 250 million barrels. So that's about 40 million barrels. And so they've been drawn down at about, on average about 4 million barrels per week, the SPR. So 4 times 10, 40 would bring it down to the bare minimum that the caverns can be brought down to before they're in danger of collapsing, and they can start to crack and collapse. So that's about 10 weeks left before you hit that level of 250 million barrels. And they might start collapsing before then. But so that brings us to that's 4 times 10 is 40. So that brings it up to 250. That's 10 weeks, which would that would bring us to like September, October. Through all of October would be 8 weeks, and then 2 more weeks. So like middle of November maybe would be the maximum if things continue as they are, and they have no sign. The things overall have shown no signs of abating, because the U.S. Refuses to abide by the memorandum of understanding, and also additionally, the reason why the SPR is being drawn down, despite the fact that the U.S. creates lots of oil. One of the main reasons is to put more oil into the supply, and in supply and demand economics 101, by creating more supply, well, the demand may stay relatively stable. That means more supply, same demand, then the price will go down. So that's I think that's the goal, is to lower the price of oil, because the problem is we're living in a corporatocracy in the U.S. where the corporations, they are basically running the show, and a publicly traded corporation, which almost all the big oil companies, they're all publicly traded corporations that are obligated to take care of their shareholders first and foremost. And so in order to do that, to look after the interests of the shareholders, the oil companies are going to sell the oil to the highest bidder, regardless of the nationality of the buyer, whoever's bidding. So it doesn't matter whether it's what nation that's buying oil, or whoever's buying the oil. It doesn't matter what nation they're in, because they need to sell to the best price in the oil markets. And so because the shareholder, they have to look after the shareholders, and the best price will be the best interest for the shareholders. So the corporations, they're not looking after the interests of the United States overall as a nation. It's not corporate law is not a patriotic law. It's a interest of the shareholders law. Corporate law is, and so even if there's like sky high prices, well, they'll just sell. They're blind to whoever's buying that oil. They're just selling to whoever is willing to pay a high enough price, whatever the market bears. So, which may be foreign countries, and so that's what they do. So as a result, that's why I think the SPR is being drained, is just to tamp down on the price of oil. But if it gets to the point where the oil price, where the strategic oil reserve goes down to a level that it can no longer be drained because the walls start collapsing, well then the price may spike because there's no oil. The Strait of Hormuz does continue to be effectively blocked by a combination of the Iran and Oman demanding they're controlling the strait, and also there's the blockade by the U.S. So combine those two factors together, there's only about 5% of traffic that was going before the Iran war. That's just down about 5% of that is going through it right now. And all that oil is being taken out of the oil overall world global oil supply. And so if the oil supply is going to stay down because we can't be brought up from the SPR releases, if once that, like maybe mid-November, then I think the oil price will likely spike. So I think that I'm not sure what the markets are thinking or what they're going by when the price went down a little bit for the past few days, because the strait is not open. I don't know. I think there's some rumors that it's flowing freely. No, it's not. It's still effectively closed. And the only reason the price is be stabilized or even going down a little is due to the SPR drawdown, and that's as I'm trying to explain, cannot be gone. They cannot do that indefinitely, and so the once it gets empty, de facto empty, then the corporations are just the U.S. oil corporations are just going to sell to whoever around the oil world whoever's willing to pay that price. And so if the U.S. could be left with shortages if we're not able to pay that price. So it's not like the oil companies. They're the ones that are able to. They're the ones producing the oil. It's not the U.S. government that's producing the oil. It's the publicly traded corporations that are producing the oil, and so that oil may go anywhere around the world, and we here in the U.S. will be either able to pay for it at the gasoline pump, or we'll be left with gas lines. Because we can't afford it, or there's all the other countries have bought up the supply that are willing to pay the price that the markets are demanding. So that's I just wanted to put out those ideas here. So I think the oil markets they're clueless. They don't really know what's going on. I don't think you can really turn to them and get a good idea of the situation in terms of the global oil supply. Is all I'm saying. So that's all I wanted to say for now. If you're still watching, thanks for watching.